Good afternoon. It is Friday, February 26th, 2021. When Jesus and the three disciples came down from the Mount of Transfiguration, they encountered the rest of the disciples arguing with some scribes. Now, this was not the first time in the Bible that someone came down from a mountaintop experience with God and find all their friends at the bottom struggling. But in Mark chapter 9, verses 14 to 29, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, we read, "When they returned to the other disciples, they saw large crowds surrounding them, and some teachers of religious law were arguing with them. When the crowd saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with awe, and they ran to greet him." "What's all this arguing about?" Jesus asked. One of the men in the crowd spoke up and said, "Teacher, I brought my son so you could heal him. He's possessed by an evil spirit that won't let him talk. And whenever this spirit seizes him, it throws him violently to the ground. Then he foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast out the evil spirit, but they couldn't do it." Jesus said to them, "You faithless people, how long must I be with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." So they brought the boy. And when the evil spirit saw Jesus, it threw the child into a violent convulsion, and he fell to the ground, writhing and foaming at the mouth. "How long has this been happening?" Jesus asked the boy's father. He replied, "Since he was a little boy. The spirit often throws him into the fire or into water, trying to kill him. Have mercy on us and help us if you can." "What do you mean, if I can?" Jesus asked. "Anything is possible if a person believes." The father cried out, "I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief." When Jesus saw that the crowd of onlookers was growing, he rebuked the evil spirit. "Listen, you spirit that makes this boy unable to hear and speak," he said, "I command you to come out of this child and never enter him again." Then the spirit screamed and threw the boy into another violent convulsion and left him. The boy appeared to be dead. A murmur ran through the crowd as people said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him to his feet, and he stood up. Afterward, when Jesus was alone in the house with the disciples, they asked him, "Why couldn't we cast out that evil spirit?" Jesus replied, "This kind can be cast out only by prayer." And some manuscripts add, "and fasting." A couple of notable occurrences in this vignette. One is that Jesus talks directly to the demon. The demon does not answer Jesus, but screams and obeys. Jesus has commanding authority over all of the fallen angels. In a world where it seems sometimes as if evil is winning, Jesus always has commanding authority. Second, Jesus has an interesting conversation with the boy's father. Jesus takes issue with the statement of the dad that questions Jesus' authority. "If I can?" Jesus recommends faith and belief rather than doubt as an operating principle. The father immediately says, "I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief." It is acceptable to admit unbelief as long as we're seeking to believe. Faith is important, but sometimes the weaknesses of our own character limits our ability to believe. Recognize and admit our own weaknesses and seek to gain faith. In a quiet moment later, the disciples asked about their failure, and Jesus reminded them to work on their faith. Feed our faith, not our doubt. Work to strengthen faith, not to strengthen our doubt. Oh, and the scribes, they were just ignored completely because their arguing was not important to anybody. God bless you.